Today, for member statements, we will hear statements by the honourable members for the districts of Conception Bay East, Belle Isle, Placentia West-Bellevue, Fortune Bay, Cape La Hune, Virginia Waters-Pleasantville, and Baie Verte-Green Bay. The honourable member for Conception Bay East, Belle Isle.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand to recognise a group of volunteers in my district who have excelled as champions for addressing the issue of mental health and addictions. I speak of HEAL Belle Isle, which is comprised of concerned citizens who have as their major objective better awareness of mental health and addictions issues on the island, but also to help foster the development of services that address the issues and give those dealing with mental health and addictions an avenue to get control of their lives and become more productive in our society. I had the pleasure to attend the first annual Mental Health and Addictions Fair hosted by the organization and held at St. Michael's High School this past weekend. Some 25 presenters from all sectors of our society set up booths to outline the services and supports they offer to assist those facing challenges. Information was distributed by the Canadian Mental Health Association, Al-Anon, Eastern Health, Planned Parenthood, Choices for Youth, Thrive St. John's, Spirit Horse Stables, Turnings, RCMP, Unity in Our Community, Let's Talk Cannabis, private businesses, and many other organizations. This was a great example of how a volunteer community group can coordinate and facilitate connections between those who need services and those who can provide those services. While many work to make this information fair a reality, I have to single out lead coordinating volunteer Susan Boone, who did a remarkable job to make this a reality. I ask all members to join me in thanking Susan and all those who made the first annual Mental Health and Addictions Fair a great success. Good luck in the future. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The honourable member for Placentia West-Bellevue.
Mr. Speaker, the gift of music is a treasure to behold and does wonders for the soul. Nowhere would you hear better the voices and instruments of talented musical performers than at St. Gabriel's Hall in Marystown last week at the 8th Annual South Coast Music Festival. Hundreds of entries, dozens of categories ranging from classical piano to musical theatre, renditions of scores of the Broadway musical Come From Away, to the traditional favourites such as Saltwater Joys. As Newfoundlanders and Labradorians, our cultural and musical heritage is distinct, which is why events such as this are so important, particularly for young people. I commend all participants, volunteers, organizers, spectators, and well-wishers, but particularly wish to congratulate and thank Patsy Green, the local music teacher, whose vision and perseverance led to the creation of this musical institution on the Burin Peninsula. Mr. Speaker, I ask all honourable members to join with me in thanking Ms. Green for her contributions and congratulating all those involved in creating, sharing, and cultivating this gift of music through the South Coast Music Festival. Mr. Speaker, it is truly a gift to behold. Thank you.
The honourable member for the district of Fortune Bay, Cape La Hune.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in this honourable House today to deliver accolades to Mr. Reginald Farrell, our newest inductee into the St. Albans Community Park Pathway of Heroes. Born and living in St. Albans since 1923, he is a pillar of the community and very dear to all his family, friends, and neighbours. Reg's long career with the Town Council has made him an integral part of our community's history, fixing the town roads, hooking up water and sewer, and garbage collection. He also operated Farrell's Sawmill and was very well known all along our south coast for his travels on the Maud Foot, his schooner, named after his mother, delivering products such as lumber and fish casks during World War II. Residents have tremendous respect and admiration for his strength and vitality, and are proud to recognize his distinct contributions to the town's growth and the great quality of life we all enjoy. His labours and volunteerism are at the core of our strong roots, and we celebrate his distinct honour of being the town's very first fire chief who took possession of our very first fire truck, and he was also our very first ambulance driver too. I ask all members of this House to join me in recognizing Mr. Reginald Farrell, our hero and friend, for his commitment to our people and community life. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The honourable member for the district of Virginia Waters-Pleasantville.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in this honourable House to bring attention to a wonderful partnership between Young Adult Cancer Canada which was founded by Mr. Jeff Eaton and Mary Queen of Peace Elementary School. For the past 5 years, YAC has brought Shave for the Brave to the students of MQP. Shave for the Brave has been Young Adult Cancer Canada's longest annual fundraiser, and for the past 13 years, this fundraiser has provided funds to support digital, local, and national programs to help young adults live with, through, and beyond cancer. The funds raised goes towards supporting great programs like the Survivors Conference, Retreat Yourself, and Local Life. These programs give young adults and the tools, resources, and lifelong connections to help them overcome cancer-related challenges they may face, such as chronic fatigue, fertility issues, returning to school or work, and facing the end of their lives when they are just getting started. For every cancer at every stage, YAC has the backs of these young adults, but only because those who support Shave for the Brave have theirs. Since getting involved, MQP raised over $97,000 and shaved 254 heads. Some of the heads are up here. This year alone, they raised over $22,000 and shaved 48 heads. Congratulations to the students and Jeff Eaton for their dedication to raise awareness around young adult cancer. Thank you.
Hear, hear.
The honourable member for the district of Baie Verte-Green Bay.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to acknowledge a successful fire, food, and music festival that takes place on the Baie Verte Peninsula. The gathering, hosted by well-known comedian Sean Majumber, takes place this year, August the 23rd to the 25th in Burlington. The gathering is part of a larger not-for-profit social enterprise known as OHM. The purpose is to rewrite the rural story by creating a sustainable microeconomy through tourism, by building small businesses and reinvesting in the communities of Burlington, Middle Arm, and Smiths Harbour. The annual festival includes comedy shows, chef's hikes, shed crawls, and traditional jigs dinner. The first phase for accommodation started out with prospector tents, and now OHM Sweet OHM is one of the most unique accommodations on the island of Newfoundland. Logs for the tent frames are locally cut and processed at a family-owned, decades-old sawmill in Middle Arm. Local carpenters construct the tent frames using traditional hand tools, and one can choose a single or double occupancy. I'm sure, Mr. Speaker, that the students of MSB Regional Academy who are visiting the House of Assembly today join me in welcoming all my colleagues here at the Gathering 2018. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.